Okay, let's fast forward to March 2008, like you were talking about just now. San Jose, California. I remember this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I was
I
there.
too.
You put in a pretty dominating performance, don't you think?
Yeah. That's the most fun tournament I've ever played. And I would say that's probably the most fun and the best. Just completely, almost wire to wire, dominated that tournament.
Yeah, it was your first WPT title.
Yeah.
So how does that compare to that first bracelet at all? Does it?
Well, that is kind of like it. Like I didn't want to be a one-hit wonder, like in poker. Sometimes you just feel somebody wins one and they just kind of disappear. Mm-hmm. That like kind of like solidified like my poker. You know, okay, bracelet and a WPT title.
Yeah.
So that's why it felt so good. It's just like for anybody that thought I wasn't any good, this kind of like shuts them up for a while.
Right. In 2008. World Series of Poker main event, there was 22 players left, and you know what I'm going to talk about here.
Yeah.
22 players left. And your call with 10-5 offsuit against Dean Hambrick, that was his name. It turns out to be like the biggest hand of that tournament, right? He had pocket aces, and you bust in 20th place.
You know, it's funny. There's a couple of things. I'm going to argue both sides of this. I was actually just did like a poker camp with Phil Hellmuth, and I was actually talking about this, and we were talking about like how when people get there, they just choke and they're not ready for the success. I really believe that if I wanted to win that tournament right there, I would have. And then I didn't want to win it. And as weird as that sounds, I just wasn't ready to be that far on top. And I feel that I made self-destructive plays almost semi-intentional. And it's really weird to like say, but it just wasn't, it's not something that I would normally do. And then I'm going to talk about the other side, is I don't think that everybody thinks that call was like just this terrible call, but really there was already I can't remember what it was, like 1.2 million in the pot, and I was calling off another million. So if the guy did have something like ace-king, you know, I was getting the right price to call against those hands, but he just happened to have aces.
Yeah. So now, would you be ready for that today? Would you change it now?
I am ready for that today. I actually believe that I learned more from that tournament and, like, kind of grew up from that. And I feel like when I'm in those spots, I feel like I don't choke them as much now. Yeah. I've actually been doing pretty well. Like, when I get, like, a chip lead, I don't just give things away, and I'm ready to, like, hold on to these tournaments now.
Right. So everyone thinks Brandon Cantu plays ridiculously nuts. Everyone knows crazy playing style. That's what everyone assumes.
Right.
So do you think that's true?
I do. I think that's exactly what it is.
Okay. So here's another quote that I read. Oh, you already talked about it. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder.
I don't. That's why it was so big to me to win that WPT.
Mm-hmm. So now that you've won, though, you have a bracelet, you have a WPT title, you have all these things. What motivates you?
I want to stay on top.
Yeah.
I really do now. Like, I've always just wanted to be able to stay on top, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job at doing it. So that's actually what motivates me now.
Yeah. You don't want to be one of those guys who they've won all this stuff and then they slip behind and everyone forgets about it.
Right. I've been doing pretty good with playing all the tournaments and trying, to stay on top.
Yeah. How does that second bracelet compare to the first? Was it different?
The second bracelet was kind of funny because a week before I should have actually, it was like 5 days before, I should have won a bracelet, and I was all in. I was all in a couple times, like dominating spots. Mm-hmm. And I really thought I was going to win that bracelet that day. It actually put me into tears because I didn't win it.
I feel like I've heard this before from you, yeah.
Yeah, and it put me into tears because I didn't win it. But anyways, so then the next week later, it's funny because I get to the final table and I actually didn't play that well. Heads up, I was playing against Lee Watkinson. He was a better player than me. And somehow I just kind of fought through and won it. So it's I should have won the one a few days before and not this one.
And lost that one?
Yeah, but hey, I won that one.
That's how poker goes. It's not all skill all the time. All right, what's the biggest pitfall of being young and rich really fast? Biggest pitfall?
Let's see, I haven't found a pitfall. I really like it. It works for me.
Yeah? You don't think that sometimes when guys are young and they get into poker and they win a lot of money, maybe they party too much, they do these things that you probably shouldn't be doing, and it throws you off
you
your
know,
game.
I kind of got all my money when I was 25. So
different.
it was different. Then I think, you know, when like the 21-year-old kid comes on that's like never worked a day in his life, never done anything, and I just kind of think it like brings him up the wrong way. Right. But I think I actually waited, like, I'm actually like glad that it was when I was 25, because who knows what I would have done with it if I would have won when I was 21.
Right. What's the best part?
The best part is you get to eat really well, all the best restaurants, get to go to the best clubs, you know, whatever it is.
Well, that's exciting.
I know,
get to do
it is.
that too because I hang out with guys like you.
I know.
Just kidding.
I love that part.
Okay, I read another quote from you where you said, I can't emphasize how much anxiety high stakes causes me. High stakes poker. Just in general, playing high. I take it too hard when I lose, and I put too much pressure on myself. That's what you said.
Yeah, you know, I think I said that a long time ago. And so I don't actually like it. I think that was like an 07 quote. I feel like I'm a little bit over that now. It doesn't cause me as much anxiety now. I think I've been there enough times that I'm just comfortable with it.
Are you playing any cash games lately?
I've been playing a little bit at the Bellagio. I've been playing a lot on UB lately. Nice. So, yeah, I've been playing a lot.
I have a weird question for you. Why do you have a knight in your house?
Just decoration. My whole house is pretty decorated. I mean,
it is decorated, but it's a knight.
I think it looks pretty cool.
It is cool. But what made you decide to get a knight?
Just look cool.
So you're just like, I want that.
Yeah, the next thing I actually want to get is kind of spendy. So I was kind of saying it'll be on my next big win. Is those like wax butlers. I don't know if you've seen what that looks like.
Where do you find those?
Like almost like just like a high-end furniture store. I mean, I've seen them. They're pretty expensive. Like the one I want is like $10,000 or more.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
And where would you put it?
I don't know. Somewhere near my coffee table. It kind of looks cool.
It does look cool. I like the knight.
Yeah.
How much longer do you see yourself playing poker?
I'll be playing forever. That's all I'll do.
Yeah. So if I ask you, Brandon Cantu will be this in 20 years.
This in 20 years, I will have a 25-bedroom house. I will have a maid, a butler, this huge lake behind my house. Just have everything.
And I'll be living there.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
Yep.